A rescue operation on the M62 in Greater Manchester. Some drivers are trapped in the snow as conditions fail to improve. In Kent, the Army helped the emergency services and people have begun panic buying over food shortage fears. At 1 o'clock, Ross Appleyard at the Radio Manchester News Desk. Good afternoon. A big rescue operation has been mounted on the M62 motorway in Greater Manchester, where hundreds of motorists are stranded in the snow. The motorway, which was
overheated, and I put it on the high shoulder not to block other traffic. But as I did, we all come to an halt and started operating down the motorway to get to this lad to keep warm because I had no heat. And it was just, you couldn't do nothing with it. You couldn't get nowhere. I've never been in weather like this in my life.
Wheel drive vehicles, and the town of Buxton is effectively cut off. A total of 19 major roads in the county are closed. Rail and bus services have been severely disrupted, and few schools remain open.
These are just unbelievable conditions. As I'm running on a well-known diesel that doesn't freeze. But as you can see, I'm frozen up. You say you didn't want to get Annika Rice around here.
I walked over this morning to get the car out. Get my daughter's car out.
It were horizontal snow. You were just blowing it dead straight. Just a big sheet blizzard wind, and the snow was just going in this direction, piling up and everything. And you just stopped it. End of story.
Roger, that's 1597 Alpha. You want the second and third lane closure, is that correct? Roger.
Over there?
Yeah.
I will turn the engine over.
Yeah?
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And it won't start it, and I don't want to flatten the battery.
Alright.
Give it any trouble.
Right, well,
Yeah,
you just...
and I've kept the air pressure is up, so there's no problem in that respect.
Well, I don't want your air pressure to go.
No, that's what I
Alright, so
don't want
just
to go.
leave it as it is for the time
Turn it
being.
over.
I'll leave it. We'll get some... somebody's got some proper jump leads. We'll try and give you a jump start.
All right, thanks very much.
Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Just hang on with your vehicle, don't get out of it.
No, I won't do.
Alright.
Thanks very much. No, get this window up and keep the heat in. Thanks very much.
It's a box van, W and W blazing. It's near the back of the queue where the driver's been told to look out for him.
There were 350 people, as we know now, in well over 200 vehicles, and I had to give instructions that we mustered every available four-wheel drive vehicle throughout the Greater Manchester Police area, and eventually, in the dark, came this convoy of blue flashing lights, which reassured me, and I'm sure members of the public who've been stranded in the vehicles for something up to 8 hours. We had them from the airport, from Wigan, from Bolton, from all over the force area, from the force driving school. Anything at all that had a four-wheel drive transmission to get the people down to our coaches, which were waiting at Milnrow, and then to take the people down to the service area.
The A54 Buxton to Bosley Road is closed, as is the A5002 Macclesfield to Whaley Bridge, the A537 Macclesfield to Buxton, A53 Leek to Buxton Road, A523 Macclesfield to Buxton, A627 closed southbound between Oldham and Rochdale. The A6 between Buxton and Duff Holes is closed, as is the Topley Pike, and Inspector White, an appropriate name, from Buxton Police says please avoid Buxton, they've got blizzards and cars are stranded.
At 2 o'clock, Ross Appleyard at the Radio Manchester News Desk. The Snake Pass, the Woodhead and Holmfirth roads and all routes between Buxton and Macclesfield are closed and are expected to remain so for the rest of the week.
If you travel about 10 to 12 miles from Buxton in any direction, the weather usually gets better. If you go to Bakewell, it's better. If you go to Whaley Bridge, it's better, and Manchester and so on. Nearly all the rounds in the Buxton area, they're nearly all rough, really, in the winter. Nearly all of them. You know, because of the altitude, really. They're all over 1,000 feet, and this one's particularly bad because it's higher than most, you know, because we're around about 1,500 here. And that, of course, it's the altitude that makes the weather
Stockport Grammar say pupils and staff in outlying districts stay at home, but it's open for those living locally. Manchester Airport is still okay, and Heathrow Airport's runways have been kept clear by spraying animal urine in crystal form onto them. The reason for this is, Phil, that salt and grit can't be used because they get sucked into the aircraft's engines. Horrible thought.
What are they spraying on those runways?
Animal urine.
Are they? Where are they getting it from? And who's collecting it? Is that it? I'm sorry if you're eating your lunch, isn't it?
Now it's time for our act of worship, which this morning is led by David Winter. Good morning and welcome to that act of worship, which comes today from a warm studio, I'm glad to say, in the sub-basement of Broadcasting House in the heart of a frozen metropolis. In a week when the weather has made most of the headlines, mini Ice Age hits Britain was my favourite, I thought we might reflect this morning on the fascinating balance of seasons and climates that makes our planet so rich, fertile and beautiful, and sometimes awesome and even terrifying.
At 9 o'clock, Ross Appleyard at the Radio Manchester news desk. The area remains in winter's icy grip, and the heavy overnight snowfalls have made driving conditions in the freezing weather even worse than the last 2 days. Only one lane of the M62 is open in each direction.
Take no notice of these people. They've got television cameras, so pretend they aren't there. All right. I've got your groceries for you.
Oh, have you? Come on.
Clear my boots.
I didn't see where I've been.
You're a long way from the village. Does it worry you being so far when it's all snowy outside?
Well, it won't come any nearer, will it?
How long have you lived here now?
All our lives.
Is that a long time?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 81, she's 79. She's 81, I'm 79.
How have you prepared for the winter?
Well, we get in what we can. We get coal in, firewood, potatoes, flour, tin food, anything. Keep bringing right from October. Bring something extra every time you go out.
So that's the secret of survival, is it?
Yes.
You know, a lot of people moan about the cold, but you seem to be quite happy about it.
Well, same as I said to Danny Jones. I said, you know, I'm a year older than I was last winter. Well, he says, you know, you're more used to it, aren't you, in another year?
So you'll be even more used to it next year.
Mm.
Do you feel the cold out here?
I do. I don't, because I'm out every day and it just doesn't bother me. But I must keep moving. Put plenty clothes on and keep moving. You mustn't stand in one place, otherwise you'll never move.
One, right.
As the cold spell continues to take a grip, plumbers in the northwest are reporting a record number of call-outs to burst pipes and frozen tanks. The rest of today's news, England's cricketers need a further 281 runs to win the final test match against Australia. The tourists will start the final day at 39 for 1 after dismissing Australia for 2-5-1 in their second innings. England's hero was John Embury, who took 7 for 78. Even so, it's going to be a difficult task for England to win. However, cricket manager Mickey Stewart is still reasonably satisfied with his team's position.
Go through. Look at the loop. What do you want, lad? What do you want to drink? Coffee? Coffee? You got one? Oh, seems clear enough. Not a bad day today.
You sort of carry information with you all the time. They want to know which roads are open and where you can get and how relatives are, that sort of thing. You know, you keep an eye on people who are old and that sort of thing. I think the most help I've been to people is towing people out with the Land Rover. People who've been stuck. I mean, last year, for instance, there was the school minibus was stuck, and she was a young girl who was driving it, and she was very upset because she got a load of kids in the back. So we piled all the kids into the Land Rover, and fortunately I got a tow rope with me, and I was able to tow her out, you know, with the kids in the back of the Land Rover. And it's things like that really that you can help with, you know, in that way.
I saw you packing your car up. Do you think you're going to get out today?
Well, we hope so. I mean, the road looks clear and there are big lorries going along it towards Leek, so we may get out.
How far have you got to go?
Back to London. So we just came up for a week's holiday and arrived before the snow had really set in like this and got thoroughly snowed in. And instead of a holiday, we spent most of our time boiling up water on the stove and trying to mend burst pipes and keep ourselves warm. But we've managed okay.
We've been cut off a couple of times here, and each time one major service has been off. Last year we were here, the power went off for about 4 days and the telephone, so it was a bit uncomfortable. But this time we've had lots of burst pipes, so we've had to be carrying cold water all around the house most of the time. So it can be cosy, but also we're usually battling against the elements in some respect. It's only the snowplow came up late this morning, and that was the first time we've been able to get the car out from in front of the chapel.
For 3 months of the year you've got this, but for the rest of the year you've got fantastic. Everything. It's just unbelievable up here in the summer. It makes it all worthwhile.
They come to Flash, Flash doesn't come to them, you know. Whoever they are, they come and live up at Flash. Well, it's no use grumbling because Flash didn't run after them, they ran after Flash, didn't they?
But you didn't have much choice, did you? You were born in this room.
Yes, I was born here. 81 years since. I was. Started school when I was 5-year-old and went Flash. Never went anywhere, only Flash school.
We were educated at Flash College. That's what I tell people.
Mr. Townsend teached us, didn't he?
Yes.
He did. And then he went to Liverpool.
Yeah, you can have a nice walk to the pub, even when the electric's off. And there's old tiller lamps and candles on the bar and everybody's happy. There's big roaring fires. You couldn't do that in Manchester. You walk around and you could walk into a pub and nobody'd say good evening to you even. Or even the bar staff. It's just, I don't know, I couldn't do it living in town.
How long have you lived up here?
Nearly 50 years.
You must be used to it.
Oh yeah, I've been born up here.
You're not terrified by the prospect of a heavy snow shower?
No, not a bit. No.
What work do you do?
Well, I'm doing nothing at the moment, but actually I'm a builder. I am.
What do they feel about the weather? Have you asked them?
No, not regularly. They don't like men a lot, funnily enough. This one's not so bad. He's a lot hardier than the others. The other one's a bit wimpish. Even in the animal kingdom, you see, you get wimpish things.
Doesn't the weather stop you working?
On the building? Oh yes, on the building, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm not working much at the moment because of my health.
How long is it going to take you to clear your driveway?
Well, it all depends on whether he gets any snags. But 2 hours and a half last time he came.
And
sometimes it's taken as much as 4 hours.
How much is this going to cost you then?
Well, it'll cost me somewhere in the region of £30 to £40 at least.
How many times do you expect to do that this winter? That's an expense.
Well, we did it three times. 1979, I think it was. I think it was done 3 times.
And you've had a bit of experience of snowploughing yourself, haven't you?
Well, with horses, not with the modern stuff.
How long ago with horses?
Oh, well, I'm 70 now, and it'll be about 54 years ago.
Tell me about it. What was that like compared with this job he's doing?
You used to set off early in the morning with 6 horses and probably 20 men with a big plough. And we used to travel up towards, from Penistone, Stocksbridge, through to the Woodhead. and where we've seen rabbits jumping over the telephone wires.
So this is fairly small beer, is it? This isn't too
Oh,
severe?
this is nothing to what I have seen.
There was no Wellingtons in those days. You just went in your clogs and you got some stocking legs, draw them on over your stockings and fasten them underneath so they wouldn't come off your shoes. Nothing in the school, only 2 stoves that burnt coke, one in each room. And if the temperature was down, they sent us home. We sat in the school with our coats on. All the time in the winter, it was that cold. We couldn't do without them. We had to be there for 9 o'clock, and then we stayed there till 3:30, and then we had to come home. And there was about 48 children then in the school.
How often do you get into Flash Village nowadays?
She goes once a week.
Once a week she goes.
And then I ring up on a Friday morning to Mr. and Mrs. Beresford at Flash Bar Stores and give him the order, and then he comes down for 1:30, meets me at the gate with it. And then I go to Buxton about every 3 weeks. I went down last Saturday and got stranded. Bus never come back from Sheffield. I stayed there till it should be 1:25, and I stayed there till after 1:30, and he didn't come. So anyway, I went across the phone and I rang Brenda Farlam, see if she'd pop down for me, and she was out. I got no reply. So then I rang Mr. Edgecox at Orchard Farm, and he said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm along by the front of the stalls." He said, "You're not far off Quicksave, are you?" I said, "No, it's just round the back." And he says, "Well, go and stand in there where it's warm and somebody'll fetch you." And his daughter, Mrs. Henshaw, came and fetched me.
Have you had to do without anything?
No, we've been all right this time. Yesterday we run out of milk and stuff, but we brought some in at the shop, and we got some in last night. So that was his last like. That's why we won't get out today and get to Leek and get some more stuff in, because we're into some more, you see. The sky's full of it. It is.
Are you expecting the weather to get worse?
Oh, it'll go.
Well, it may mend a while, and then it'll come again in February. Because there's a Buchan's cold spell then, isn't there? They fitted an extra one in this time. It shouldn't be, you know.
So this took you by surprise?
No, not really.
It comes round, doesn't it?
As the days lengthen, the cold strengthens.
You believe a lot of those old wives' tales?
Well, anything that's stretched goes thinner, doesn't it?
What were you telling me about
If Christmas on a Thursday be, a windy winter you shall see, windy days in every week, wintry weather strong and thick, summer shall be good and dry, corn and beef shall multiply.
So that's your forecast for the summer?
Well, I read that in the newspaper 17 years back.
Or you can take the A627M, follow the signs of vehicle through Rochdale, you go via the later on. Really, the worst areas are Oldham, especially Shulver, Diggle, and Holmes Estate. Rochdale, Tottenham Road, same side of Richmond Estate.
Tell me the worst winter you remember.
1941. 1941. That was the worst I remember.
And what were you up to then?
I was farming at Bolsterstone when we had 6 weeks of solid frost with covering of snow.
I'm surprised you're still doing it.
Well, it's life, isn't it? What would you do if I wasn't doing this job? I should be 6 foot under the ground.
Still 6 foot under snow?
That's right. And be a bit warmer then. But no, that time there were the snow It blizzard the same as it is doing now, and at that time we lost a beast, and we pulled her out into the field, and she lay in the field for 5 weeks before they got her away. And she was as fresh when they took her away as she was the day she died.
It was a very bad winter in 1933. And on the 24th of February, which was a Friday, it started snowing at noon. And a terrific gale, and it snowed for 54 hours. One continual blizzard. And when it was going dark on the Sunday night, it stopped, and it went very quiet. And then in about a couple of days it started thawing, and it went ever so quick. But that was 24th of February 1933.
Tell me a bit more about the horse-drawn ploughs. Tell me a bit more what it was like to be doing that sort of thing.
Well, many a time I was 16, 17, and I used to be on the front horse taking it through the drifts. And many a time you'd be rolled off into the snow, or the horse would go down in the snow until they got a road through it. And many a time I've seen them when the men's gone and dug a road through for one horse to go through, so that the 6 could follow. And we never used to leave any road ends like that. The men used to follow up behind after the snowplough had gone through. And the snowplough was 5 feet deep, so they could get through a good drift. And when you'd done 8 hours with that, you used to have a change of horses.
No change of men?
No change of men, no. Men's gone on for 14, 16 hours a day.
That's not something you're nostalgic for, though, is it?
Well, it's not done me any harm, has it? I mean, I followed horses with the ploughs on the field and arrows and everything, and used to enjoy it, and would love to do it again today. And if we could do it again today, there'd be far less unemployment.
Yorkshire have got the snow ploughs out on the other side, and my understanding is we'll be ready for about 6 o'clock, and they'll be ready to take you at 6 o'clock. So I'm very hopeful we'll get you all out by 6 o'clock tonight. We've got all the vehicles out, just in case we get the snow ploughs in now. Okay, lads? 6 o'clock. Providing it doesn't snow.
Are you looking forward to the sun again?
Oh yes. We'd like it pop out any minute. But it's getting now, you see, tonight. The days have gone out half an hour. Well, it'll keep lengthening, won't it?
That's a happy thought.
And at 5 o'clock on Candlemas Day, which is February 2nd, you can see a white horse a mile away. It's keeping light that long, but if it's a snow, well, look for a black one.
Do you feel the cold?
She does a lot, you see, with being in.
You never get out of the house then?
Yes, you can't. Oh, I can't go when there's snow on ground. I don't, you know. I should have cramp under feet in a very little time. Get cramp sometimes.
I've got my clogs on.
They look like a new pair to me.
Yes, they are.
I've
had them several years and never worn them, and then I found them. But they won't do outside. The wood in the middle picks the snow. So take them off and put my wellies on.
Do you not wish you were somewhere else?
Many a time, but I mean, beggars can't be always choosers, can they?
But if you weren't here, where do you think you'd like to be?
South Africa.
Really?
Yes.
Bit of sunshine?
That's right.
You'd miss the snow, though, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I've seen enough of it.